following program is brought to you in living color. Scabadoo, scadadadee, rapatotu, a fridi down, gunk fridi down, gunk. Ooh, boy, oh boy, we're about to begin here. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome. Let's begin the beginning. Let's start this bit. Let's start the show. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get retarded in here. Let's get retarded in here. Hey, welcome to the Leyshon show. Welcome to the Grayson Leyshon show. Welcome to the Grayson Leyshon show. Grayson Leyshon. Grayson Leyshon. Grayson Leyshon. Well, enough of this crap. Let's get this party started. Let's get the show on the road. Let's get retarded in here. Welcome to the Grayson Leyshon show. That's right. It's the Grayson Leyshon show. I'm your host, Kensington Colby Cameron. And we'll be bringing you all the best news, sports, weather, arts, music, literature, politics. Pretty much anything but talking about Grayson Leyshon. So we'll be bringing you all the best for about the next 38 hours, so stay with us. Please, time your drugs. This show is being brought to you by Network Chiropractic. For all your chiropractic needs, it's Network. Network Chiropractic is open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in Charlottesville, and Tuesdays and Thursdays in Raleigh. Office hours are also available by special appointment on Saturdays and Sundays after 10 o'clock at night, if you would prefer a happy ending. Their weekend location is the dumpster behind the Wawa off Ivy Road. Network Chiropractic will take care of your back and your front. Today's episode is also brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You know Progressive. They run those ads with that incredibly annoying redheaded douche Jamie. I'd like to pin him down and burn him with cigarettes. And that goes for whoever the jerk-off is that writes those stupid spots. Progressive Insurance. Bundle up with Progressive, and let's get together and kill Jamie. In today's episode, I will be reading from my soon-to-be-published memoir, How Many Consecutive Poor Life Decisions Did I Have to Make to End Up Right Here, Right Now? Today's episode is called Pornographic Memory. Ooh. Now, up until this point, I hadn't given Trenton State College much thought. And by that, I mean I hadn't given it any thought whatsoever. I knew a little bit about it. It was in Trenton. It used to be called Trenton Teachers College. I had heard that kids called it Trenton Suitcase College because a large majority of the students went home for the weekend. Looking back, I saw it as only a safety school that I most likely wouldn't need. Of course, it was sure better than the local community college, the dreaded Morris County Community College. We called it Route 10 Tech, or Harvard on the Highway. But I had made it into Trenton State College, so at least I knew I was safe. Perhaps the most, or perhaps only, intriguing aspect of TSC was its highly rated girl-to-guy ratio. When I got accepted, I let down my guard, which is hard to imagine because my guard was dragging on the ground already. I had enough credits to graduate. All I had to do was pass English and gym, and both were taught by former coaches or current coaches. So, as far as I was concerned, I had, in a sense, already graduated. Just like the Eagles were singing on the 1964 Chevy Impala AM/FM radio that I bought for $125 from Bela Zigethy with the money I saved from shoveling horseshit with Eddie Kane. They were singing I Was Already Gone. Turned out that wasn't such a good idea. I've got a pornographic memory. I remember all I see, and I can't forget the memory of the things you did to me that were obscene. Someday I'm gonna pay you back in black and red and green. And I say, oh, 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 what a wonderful world we live in. I was pleasantly surprised, if not actually shocked, when we pulled into the entrance of Trenton State College. I literally knew nothing about it. I thought it was in Trenton, literally in the city of Trenton. I thought it was going to be some sort of citified urban campus down in the heart of Trenton, down by the State House, down by the Crack House, down by the War Memorial and boarded up storefronts. I know, it was in a lovely little suburb called Ewing. There were trees. There was grass. I saw the football field. It looked pretty decent. I don't really remember much about parking the car, but I imagine when I was walking through the campus with my mommy, I think I was probably thinking to myself, hey, there's a beautiful dorm that I'll never get a chance to stay in. Hey, look at that water tower. I'll never get a chance to climb that on a dare. Hey, there's Kendall Hall. That must be where the theater classes are. Would have been nice to hang out there. Hey, that library looks pretty impressive. Hey, Mom, what's a library? But none of that mattered. It wasn't meant to be. I was on my way to my tribunal, my own personal Nuremberg, my Waterloo, Custard Boy's last stand. I had hoisted myself upon my own petard. And I had resigned myself to my fate. On the positive side, in my hometown, the AMP would surely be hiring. There were always openings in the fall when all the non-losers went off to college. We entered the administration building. I don't remember any details about going up to a reception desk or possibly signing in. That's all blank. All I can remember is entering this rather distinguished office, and sitting there waiting for me were three rather dour-looking representatives of Trenton State College. There was the Dean of Admissions, the head of the Communications Department, and there was another man who I can't remember what his position was, but I'll never forget his name. His name was Dr. Ebel, E-B-E-L. Well, with my highly developed sense of humor, you know what I immediately called him in my head. My mommy and I sat down, and the prosecution began building its case. Mr. Carey, you know why we're here, don't you? Asked Dr. Evil. Yes, sir, I said. Well, why don't you tell us why you're here? Well, sir, apparently you have rescinded my acceptance due to my poor academic performance during my senior year. I was trying my best to sound mature. I was trying my best to sound educated. Erudite, but not too verbose. Solemn, yet not too lugubrious. Articulate, yet not too loquacious. All the words that I had learned in sophomore year from Larry K. Smith in my public speaking course in high school. But I could also sense that all three members of the jury were looking at me with highly dubious expressions on their faces. I quickly I quickly shifted gears seamlessly into charm mode, trying to explain that I had enough credits to graduate and all I had to do was pass English and gym. I was just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. I started tap dancing. I started shucking and jiving. Inside, I was panicking. I knew it wasn't working. They didn't want to hear it from the happy-go-lucky jock who thought it was a good idea to leave class and go fishing. When I had finished my performance, I could smell the desperation in the room. Or maybe I had wet my pants. At any rate, after enduring what must have been a truly painful exhibition, Dr. Evil asked the question that would determine the next 4, make it 5, make it 5.5 years of my life. With a very stern expression, he asked, "Mr. Carey, do you know the meaning of the word definition?" I said, "What are you, fucking dyslexic?" No, that was me just fucking up. What he actually said was, "Mr. Carey, do you know the definition of the word maturity?" The next 5 seconds took an hour. Immediately, my mind was reeling. I can't believe it. This is unbelievable. What a question. Do I know the meaning of the word maturity? Well, I certainly didn't know how to behave in a mature way. But man, as soon as he asked that question, I knew I was going to be okay. I have a memory that used to be described as pornographic. A memory so accurate it was obscene. That memory got me through high school. To this day, I don't really know how smart I am, but I can fake it, because stuff sticks in my mind without me even trying. Unfortunately, I don't have any control over it, and a lot of it is just short-term memory that goes away in a day or two. But astoundingly, when Dr. Evil asked that question, I did indeed know the definition of the word maturity. Why? Well, about 2 weeks earlier, and ironically, even with my pornographic memory, I can't recall the circumstances. But about 2 weeks earlier, the big, stupid sponge that is my brain had somehow heard and retained the definition of the word maturity. Suddenly, the knucklehead in me tried to crash the party. "Oh, maturity? Yeah, that's the opposite of me." I sent that moron back to his room. Without batting an eye, I looked at the 3 of them confidently and I said, "The definition of maturity is the postponement of immediate gratification in favor of long-term gratification." They pretended not to be flummoxed, but they were. The conversation drifted to my obsession with sports and how it might adversely affect my studies if they decided to admit me. And what they didn't know is I had already pretty much realized that my athletic career was over. I played sports for fun. Early on, I had dreams of getting a scholarship or becoming a pro baseball player, but I was really in it for the fun, and I was realistic. Just like anything else, the better you get, the more you understand how much work and how much talent it takes to achieve a high level. I had peaked out, and I knew it. That summer, I had what would be my last at-bat in an organized hardball game. It was in Stamford, Connecticut. I was playing for the North Jersey Babe Ruth All-Stars. I was called upon to pinch hit. I strode confidently up to the plate. I was a dead pull hitter, and I rarely struck out. The pitcher wound up and threw the ball. I didn't move a muscle. That motherfucker came in so fast, I could hear it. It literally made a sound. I stepped out of the batter's box. Strike 1. I gathered myself a little bit, dug in my spike in the back right corner of the batter's box, rubbed some dirt on my hands, took my stance. The pitcher threw again. This one was even faster. It felt like when an oscillating fan sweeps by you. It was like a breeze. I didn't move a muscle. Strike 2. I said to myself, I'll be damned if he's going to throw the next one past me. The next one came right at my head. I bailed out. The ball curved perfectly over the plate. Strike 3. End of the at-bat, end of the inning, end of my career. So when the Three Stooges asked me if I would be willing to forego athletics just for my freshman year, I pretended to be disappointed, and very solemnly I said, "Yes, I think that would be quite judicious and a most magnanimous gesture on your part." At this point, my mother quickly turned her head as if she had been tapped on the shoulder. I swear I could hear her roll her eyes. So they took the death penalty off the table. They took life without parole off the table. Community service, everything. They reinstated my admission to Trenton Suitcase College. My life wasn't over. It was just beginning. The first time I ever heard my mother swear was on the ride home that afternoon. I think we were both relieved, and there was a calm silence in the car. When we were about halfway home, my mother said, "Where did you come up with that shit?" The rest of the way home, we excitedly made plans for my exodus from dilapidated acres. Thanks for listening to the Wayne Grayson Leyshon Show. I'm your host, Kensington Colby Carrington, reminding you that, as the great Helen Keller once said, once again, that is a terrible joke. But what the great Helen Keller once said, life is an incredibly exciting adventure, or it is nothing at all. And who the hell rearranged the furniture?
Everything go real crazy over Jersey. Everything go real crazy over Jersey. Everything cool for me and my baby. I don't wanna sing, but listening to it, it's gotta be Pressburg shit on the basic. It's gotta get all set out clear on the let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. Sit in the city, jumping with my boss, sit in the city. President of that DJ committee, we're gonna be up all night, getting ready. And you spin the sounds from the city for down the land. It's real, real pretty, and everything go real crazy over Jersey. Everything go real crazy over Jersey. Let everything cool for me and my baby. I don't want to think. Well, listening to Lazy, it's gotta be Pressburg chillin' on the basic. It's gotta get all set right here on the LA road. Da 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 da.